leader. I think he's back on row 4, though, as we get set for the start. Ginetta Juniors, round 9, Paul O'Neill and Richard John Neal.
Yeah, some work to do for Josh Rowledge, the championship leader. Harry Reynolds, his arch rival, second in the championship. He lines up on the outside of the front row. So as we're looking at that, that's the blue car, the number 23, the young Welshman looking to score a few points here. But Sonny Smith on pole position, the man who won the rookie section of last year's winter championship in the Ginetta Juniors. So having an interesting year, very interesting looking at qualifying and best qualifying. Really, the drivers that did well at Brands Hatch seem to have generally emulated those results and getting best results here or better results. So interesting grids. Ginetta having a different qualifying style this year, as regular viewers will know, which is rather than having a full, say, 15 or 20-minute session, they have to do 3 flying laps in a random order or an order generated by Ginetta so that teammates can't use drafting in qualifying. And it's been a mixed bag, really. This Paul's putting a face about it.
I see where they're coming from.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But at the same time, the racer in me is like, I do like that because they learn early doors about having cars close to them and using the slipstream and using the draft. But it is what it is, and there's a nice little Welsh flag on the side of the car there.
Absolutely right. So Harry Reynolds and Kanato Lee having his best qualifying. He is third. Fourth on the grid is Alicia Parmosky, her best qualifying as well. And a shout out for Ella Lloyd, who's got her best qualifying as well, down in 15th place. So all drivers still making progress, those three in particular having their best qualifying. Maurice Henry's got his best qualifying in the second race of the day. And how good is it this weekend, Paul? We've got 2 Ginetta Junior races on our live day.
Very, very nice, because they are our fave races, aren't they? And yeah, great to have the onboard as well for Willie McIntyre, which is lovely. And yeah, 2 live races. We are very, very thrilled about that.
A lot of the drivers, obviously we didn't see the juniors last time at Alton Park. They were having a GCSE weekend. A lot of drivers were taking GCSE, some of them weren't. They were frustrated not to be racing, but they, I think, made the most of the break, such as teenagers do. So how do they line up today? We've already given you a few of the names and numbers and where they are on the grid, but let's have a look at all of our runners. Round 9 of the championship here at Croft. Sonny Smith on pole, rookie on pole. Harry Reynolds alongside, then Kanato Lee and Alicia Parmosky. Joe Warhurst is on row 5 with Will McIntyre. Josh Rowledge, the championship leader, is next up alongside teammate Luke Watts. Then it's Maurice Henry and Akil Alabai. Ian Aguilera, race winner last time, is next to Liam McNeely. Then it's Zach Meakin and Jacob Hodgkiss. Ella Lloyd, as we said, best qualifying for her. Akshay Bora alongside them, Mackenzie Douglas and James Wires. 10th row, Flynn McHardy and Luca Hopkinson. They're followed by Adam Brown and Leona Theobald, with Travan Shamagable completing our grid for round 9 of the championship. So a super entry. There is Ella Lloyd, the very, very quiet Welshman. Actually joined the championship on the recommendation of Harry Reynolds down. I think the parents were having a little natter, and another very good skier coming into racing, and finally managed to have a chat with her and her mum and dad yesterday. It's taken half the season, Paul, to root them out of the and have a proper natter with them, but very, very quiet young lady, very confident, and has done very little racing indeed. In fact, hardly anything, no karting. So this is a proper rookie year for her.
I know what it's like when you haven't karted and you come into a top-line British Championship. So yeah, I've heard very good things actually about her. So yeah, let's watch her progress, and it's great. As usual, this is an amazing grid of fantastic, talented kids.
Quite a few stories to say with Alicia Parmosky, who was second in the test session here last week, up in 4th, by far and away her best qualifying weekend, the Ginetta Scholarship winner in the Prep Tech car. Ginetta already accepting entries for this year's scholarship, which is the half-term weekend in October, if you fancy the chance to get on the grid yourself. Here we go then, front row, Sonny Smith and Harry Reynolds, Kanato Lee and Alicia Parmosky on row 2. Lights out, away we go. Parmosky slipping and sliding a little bit. She's got the 2 elite cars looking to go through on the inside, but Harry Reynolds gets away well. Sonny Smith's coming up through the gears. He's going to be squeezed over on towards the grass. So they come down to Clervaux for the first time. Kanato Lee in the white car running in that 3rd position at the moment. So it's Kanato 3rd, but Sonny Smith manages to annex the lead. Going around is I think that's the 48 car, Liam McNeely, who's been a victim of the qualifying, I think, over the course of the year. Certainly got into his head as we ride on board now with Will McIntyre.
Yeah, Will McIntyre making a nice little exit out of the chicane. A couple of people throwing it off, but coming back on, so that's good. But it was a great start, wasn't it? Look, already defending, that slipstream already working. But a big lunge up the inside. Harry Reynolds for the lead.
Harry Reynolds, this isn't his main championship rival, but he knows that a win would be very valuable points here, and Canato's going to go through. McIntyre's having looked too. Sonny Smith on the outside line. That's the left-hand car. Very nearly a clatter there. Canato in, I think, the newest of all the Ginettas on track, squeezes his way through, and he's up into second. McIntyre chasing for third.
Wow, what an onboard that was. That was fantastic direction from ITV Sport. Loved that onboard. People down the inside, change for fourth on the way into Sonny in, get the car settled, short shift up into fourth, on the way into Sonny out. Now they're heading to the complex, but Harry Reynolds looks like this one's under control. Canato Lee looking strong.
Under control. That move into Tower was under control as well. That was a super move. That youngster, when you talk to him, he's so calm. I was talking to him and Jim Edwards Jr. this morning, the Assetto Racing team boss, about how cool this lad is. There is no arrogance, there is no overconfidence or cockiness about Harry Reynolds. With a move like that, you'd think he'd deserve to have some confidence.
Oh, you'd have a swagger, wouldn't you, if you can pull moves off like that? But sometimes that's just the way people are. But this is awesome. This is already looking like a fantastic race. Are we across the line yet?
Here we go, one superb opening lap. So Reynolds the leader, Lee in second place. Lee has already won a race this year. Harry Reynolds has won a couple as well. The 95 car is Joe Warhurst. That's a rebuilt car. Remember, Joe had a nasty incident last time we saw the cars at Thruxton. We didn't see the race itself. It was on Saturday, but a nasty accident. Couldn't come out for day two. But that is effectively a brand new car. The blue and black one currently running in about sixth place.
This is proper now. Look at this. This for the lead. Reynolds having to defend. This is going to bring McIntyre back into it. Round the outside. Can Canato Lee hold this one up? Look, though, for third place. It's going to be a change for second. Back on board. McIntyre, the door is shut by Canato Lee. This is going to bunch everyone up into this super high-speed stuff out the back. This is proper Ginetta Junior stuff.
Yeah, this is what the race fans wanted to see. Cracking race now, and the camera car gets relegated a position there. It's Josh Rowledge, the championship leader, taking those prisoners there, slicing through up into third. Wants a bit of podium action, and he's got that on the cards now. So it's his it's the Assetto from Elite, and then R Racing next up. But Harry Reynolds, what's the first flying lap going to be? He's going to get the fastest first flying lap, and Reynolds under pressure from Lee. McIntyre, Rowledge, Warhurst, Smith, Maurice Henry 7th, Pomoski a bit slow off the start, is down in 8th place, but holding on there. Then Akil Alibi, and the top 10 completed by Ian Aguilera.
Yeah, proper stuff. 4 abreast. Look at that big lunge there in the background. That was proper stuff, that was. That was Maurice Henry. Maurice having a right old race, isn't he? And he got slid right down the inside and got that place sorted. All across the line in kind of single file. Not much defending in the front pack, but in the middle of the pack there's a lot going on.
Yeah, a lot going on all over, isn't there? So Maurice trying to work his way through, down on the inside of Sonny Smith, and Maurice makes up another position, a driver that is steadily getting better and better, getting better and better results. Like so many of these drivers, capable of a win. Is he going to get the rub of the green to get one? Got a bit of work to do from here. I'm sure he's going to come back through as we ride on board again with the 4th place car. McIntyre in 4th. Leader's getting close again. What is Canato Lee going to do? All over the back of the lead car, and I tell you what, Rowledge decides that it's the time to go on the outside as they go into Tower Bend, onto the grass. Lee's going to come back on the inside.
Lee's going to come back on the inside. You pull for 6, you hope for the best. You're into the Jim Clark S's on the left there now, and in the right, flat out. Look at that. Around the outside, he's trying his best, but now look, Will McIntyre, the on-board car, down the inside of Canato Lee. He's gone from 2nd to 4th. Brilliant.
McIntyre with the onboard now. Warhurst in blue is coming up the inside line as well. So Warhurst makes a place, and Canato from that front row start. The pack very definitely shuffled. He finds himself at the back, but it's Harry Reynolds out front. Rowledge now in second. We've got the championship battle on here, Paul. First and second, the championship reversed. Off goes the 28 car. That's Ella Lloyd. Disappointment for Ella, but she'll regroup, get back on track and try and make up some spaces. Other cars going off there, including Canato dropping right back. Big shame for him.
Yeah, real shame. He was right in the mix of things, but look at this, banging doors there. You've got the Ian Aguilera car, and also they're just banging all the way down the straight. They're just trying to get the cars as straight as they can. No wheel spin out the hairpin, and so they've got a nice steady entry. And as I say that, the leader looked well leery as he went in, but all under control. It's getting so close up the front, Richard, so close.
Very close indeed. Where you're watching from, if you can ever come here, sit on the bank where those cars were going through there. That was Ella having the gyration.
Ella, she looked like she just went in, and if you get the curve on the exit in between both of the sunny in and sunny out apexes, it will just pull you off. Look at this then. This is for the lead, and it looks like it might be another round the outside moment. If this comes off, I'll be well impressed. That's Roledge for the lead. He's going to get squeezed on the grass. No,
not
that
too
was
far.
Beautiful. That was beautiful from both drivers. Reynolds could have proper had his kecks down there.
I'm thinking of Millard and McNeely last year. Had a good clean race. We've got a long way to go in this one, but William McIntyre's having a go as well. McIntyre in red, about to try and pop through into second position. Roledge still on the outside. Joe Warhurst could be the dark horse here. He's in the blue and black car. Remember, first race back, his job scored with the race. He didn't start at Truxton, and going through is his superb stuff. And Reynolds still soaking up the pressure at the moment from the 18 car of McIntyre in red. Roledge wants to get back into the podium action, so he slots himself back into third position. Warhurst can't quite make the breakthrough, but look now coming up, Maurice Henry on the outside has got himself well ensconced in this pack.
Oh, that was Maurice, was it? Into the back. Oh, that was such a shame. Smith getting just fired into. That was no malice in that at all. It was just all concertina and up, and I'm so glad he didn't spin in the pack. I'm just about to say the driving standards have been exemplary on these first few laps. This is beautiful driving.
This is edge of the seat stuff, isn't it? Reynolds still out front. McIntyre second, Roledge third, Maurice Henry fourth. Alicia Parmosky's come up as well from eighth a couple of laps ago into fifth, building her racecraft, building her confidence, qualified well. Everybody said, James Gorner, who driver coaches her, said she was going to go well here. Replay of that incident.
Yeah, just looking, you can see in the middle of the shot, he just doesn't mean that, Maurice. He kind of like tries to jink back underneath him and tags the back of him. I'm sure that was Maurice, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. It was. Warhurst came out of that the worst. He's down in 10th place. Canato Lee still in second, changed for second position. So Harry Reynolds still out front, and Josh Roledge has managed to get himself back into P2. Wants another nibble at his arch championship rival. They're all rivals, but we're talking about the top two in the championship. Aguilera going wide, getting stuck in well there too is Luke Watts. Our first look at Luke in this one, making his way through the field, and you can do that in junior racing.
Wow.
Sideways moment for Parmosky.
Wow, held on to that, didn't she? You don't want to be doing that round there. That's proper fourth gear to fifth gear stuff, that in one of these cars. It's not far off 90-mile-an-hour apex, 100 at the exit. Proper stuff, that.
Sonny Smith trying to effect a pass on Alicia Parmosky. Alicia's best result so far in Donington Park, had a 9th place in race 2.
Oh, no!
Well, I spoke too soon. I was just about to say Alicia was going to get a good result, but a tap on the back, and the Miller's Oils car, that is going to move, I think, but we've got to try it on circuit. Harry Reynolds across the line, still in the lead. Roledge second. Roledge fastest lap, 1:40.239.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. It's really, there was a lot of energy in this race I was looking at, and there's a lot of just bumping and boring now. Calm it down a bit. We've already had one car spin in the pack, but look, there's people still trying to have a go, and I just hope Alicia's either got the car going and back to the pits, or just pulls it out the way. So let's just crack on with this race.
Alicia crossed the line in 17th place, the 21 car, just ahead of Luca Hopkinson and Flynn McHardy. Here's the battle for the race lead, and through into the lead goes Josh Roledge. Roledge leads, Reynolds second. Now Will McIntyre's getting stuck in as well. Reynolds now is going to reapply the pressure side by side. Never mind that, you can have the lead, Sunshine, but not for too long.
No, and I'd stay on board here, because this is going to be for the lead. This is going to be for the lead. Is he going to take it? McIntyre takes the lead.
Yeah, McIntyre red. You can see that unfolding. He goes through, so McIntyre now the leader. And look at that, the young Welshman is down in 4th place. Maurice Henry up for a podium again, potentially here in the 49 car. Maurice looking for his first podium in the championship, but it's Harry Reynolds down in 4th place. Henry's going to go for second. Roledge still there, the race leader. Reynolds is back in 4th. We'll try and get, but what about McIntyre? Read that well. Now he's under pressure. You see him lock up there as he comes into the complex. He's under big pressure.
Oh, big pressure. Look, side by side, Harry Reynolds. Maurice trying to go around the outside of the 49, locks up. He'll have to tuck back underneath, but the leader, McIntyre, the red and black car, who we were on board with, it was some footage, that was. But look at this. This is what happened. They got into each other. Roledge says, I'll have some of that back. Fires them both out wide. McIntyre sees it all coming in the red and black car, and that was his chance to crack on through. This is some of the best racing. People having a go at me on Twitter saying the touring car race was boring. You were watching the wrong race, my friends. That was a fantastic race with Dan Lloyd, but this is where it's at.
It's a different formula, isn't it? I mean, these are smaller cars, they're more evenly matched, and, you know, but this is fantastic stuff here. And McIntyre just read that so well, split decision, down the inside, got the lead, but he hasn't shaken off Josh Rowledge, who's having a look on the outside. He loves the outside at Tower, does the number 10, nose in front, on board, side by side with the camera car. And what can Will McIntyre do? Chops across, still got that lead position. Wow.
Look at this, it's 2 by 2. This ain't going to end well. What's going to happen? They all give each other racing room. McIntyre's still in the lead, only just. Rowledge on the outside. Maurice Henry's trying to take all 3 of them round the outside. Checks up. He's got to be careful here, but look at Reynolds. He's up to second, but I can't believe he's still in the lead. McIntyre, Maurice up to third. Richard, what's going to happen next?
I don't know, I was wondering whether Maurice Henry was going to rejoin the track at some point there, but he did. He went very wide, probably for safety as much as anything else. You can see the deranged mirror. So we look at the right-hand side of the car face on, and he's in that third place, but it's McIntyre still there. Reynolds incredibly. What a fight back from Reynolds. Brilliant start from him to get into the lead. And then we see him defending. He's now on the outside, but Maurice Henry's got the inside. Again, another little tap. That front end seeing some action here, isn't it?
Oh, he's got to be careful as he comes back across. Inch perfect from Maurice Henry. He's up to second, but massive defence now. And look, it's brought the other cars back into play. But our leader, McIntyre, looks in his mirror and thinks, I'll leave you with that, Maurice.
Sonny Smith, the poleman's in 5th position. He could come through and whip this one because we've still got just under 8 minutes to go. Henry's bonnet's loose. That may well affect him. It will certainly give him something else to think about. But right behind him, it's Harry Reynolds. Harry, from his point of view, is ahead at the moment of Josh Rowledge. They're the top 2 guys in the championship. Will McIntyre is 3rd in the standings, but here comes the Welshman again, past the Midlander Maurice Henry, who's got the bonnet up. That vision's impaired. Here we come then, and Henry still side by side with the 23 car. Goodness me.
They've got to clear Maurice. He's got aerodynamic problems now. That car is so slow in a straight line. You would never go side by side there at all. But the leader still in front, McIntyre. Maurice causing massive problems because look how slow he is. There's cars driving in the back of him. And look at our poleman, Smith. He's in the back of Maurice. He needs to get past because he could win this race.
Sonny Smith's come back very well indeed in this one. Was that a slight knock on the back? Maurice goes wide. Sonny Smith goes through again. I don't think any malice in that, but when these cars are racing closely, that is going to happen. Top 3 in the championship are all together here, not necessarily in the right order, to paraphrase a well-known comedy sketch, as McIntyre continues to lead. Is he going to hold on to this one? That's the question. Maurice Henry back in 5th. That bonnet, I think, has maybe scuppered more progress. Takes a wide line there. Be looking to get a good run down the main straight. Maybe have a go at Sonny Smith. Cross the line again. Rowledge still the quickest man on track. Out front, we dip back a little bit further. Liam McNeely from Ian Aguilera in the 77 car. And here is the view of Will McIntyre, our camera car. We never want, generally, a camera car that's going to be in front because all you can see is clear track. So. But we've seen some good moves from him.
We have, and tell you what, we look back, we've not seen any. Look at that, Liam McNeely is in the middle of all this in that 48 car. I was just about to say I fear for McIntyre, our leader, because I think Rowledge is going to start not having to defend and just focusing on trying to win. But look at this, McNeely in that 48, he's looking to have some of this as well.
Liam is Canato in that mix as well, trying to come through. So Aguilera under a little bit of pressure from Akil Alibi. Liam McNeely, remember, 2nd in the championship last year, and he's had such a frustrating year with Fox Motorsport. Was chatting to his dad Paul yesterday, what are you going to do with Liam next year? What does Liam want to do? And they've got every option available, and they're not even half decided on the line. It might be single-seaters, it might be bigger sports cars, it might be Ginetta Challenge. It's going to be fascinating the close season to see what they do, but that youngster will do well in whatever he does.
Yeah, I fully agree with that, and yeah, we're
Reynolds
still
having a look again.
Sometimes that is just a little reminder that I'm still behind you, or it can just be to get some dust off that left rear tyre. You can hear the tyres screeching across the circuit now, but Maurice has dropped back. He's now in P5, and that was a little look at the leader, wasn't it? Rowledge locked a left front, and I tell you what, that'll have caught McIntyre's attention because that's not what you want to see. Canato Lee has just got the fastest lap, and yeah, he was right up front, and now he's right in the middle of the pack, but he's still fast.
Ginetta is, and Zach Meakin, who's off very sadly in the 81 car. Disappointment for him, was running in 12th place up to that point. One of the floppy markers goes for a Burt, and everyone else still getting involved. So there's Ginetta, the white and black car at the back of this group. Fastest man on track, the Mexican, Ian Aguilera. Oh, that's been now passed, thank you, Paul, by Sonny Smith, the pole man, who clearly has pace here. Replay of, I think this is Zach Meakin's exit. Let's have a look.
Oh, shame. Shame that. He was minding his own business there. Minding his own business, yeah. Oh, look at this. It's on now. It is on.
Sonny Smith up into 3rd place. Now Reynolds is down to 4th. Tucked back up the inside as they come out of the tower, but the Weiraback car is down the back of the quartet. This is punchy stuff, isn't it? Still out front is Will McIntyre, but coming under increasing pressure from Rolich. It's almost like they get into the last 5 minutes and say, do you know what, we had a frantic start, we've had a little bit of a breather, let's go for it to the checkered flag. Rolich having a look for the lead, still McIntyre, they've all had good periods in the lead and attacking. McIntyre probably had the longest section.
Yeah, there's a lot of swapping going on. Look at this, look in the background, the 23 and the 72, they are like cat and mouse, defending, attacking. One of them's got an eye missing as well, and running wide the leader, McIntyre. He's got to be careful, because I'll tell you what, Rolich looks strong to me. I reckon Rolich is going to launch an attack, and it's going to be pretty soon. Looking like now he's just trying to get the car slowed down, but look at this, the 72 and the 23 having it large. Smith and Reynolds, they don't know when to give up.
They don't, they're really getting stuck in. Sonny Smith now still in 3rd. There is the board, very often the board stating the obvious for the drivers, and I'm not quite sure how much they get out of it, particularly in this digital age, these youngsters. But it's McIntyre still there, Rolich in 2nd. Can Rolich get close enough to make a go? What about the group for 5th position, 6th position? Watts is in 5th, then Alibi, McNeely in the 48 car, Kanato Lee after being off the front. Remember, we've got another race for these guys at the end of the day, and it's still McIntyre. This is more settled than I thought it was going to be, Paul, at the moment.
Oh, as we see Mad Max. Mad Max in the 88 coming to us. James Wires, that, isn't it?
Yeah, one of the Assetto boys. About to be, I think, passed by his teammate Ella Lloyd in the 28. So Ella recovering well.
He couldn't see then. That car really shouldn't be out there, in my opinion. Really can't see. He couldn't see through the chicane. Right, game on. I said this. McIntyre defending in the fastest part of the circuit. That's never good. Rolich knows this is game on. Can he get underneath it? Sonny in. He comes out of it as we just gone off shot there. But Apex missed again by the leader. 2nd Apex coming up now. Does he get it? Yes, he does, and I tell you what, that has saved him on this lap. But the attack will be launched, I think, on the next lap.
Now let's just sort out the teams in this. We've got Elite Racing, who lead, the Norfolk-based team leading, R Racing in 2nd and 3rd place, and then Assetto Motorsport running in 4th. So I'm wondering if there's a slight dynamic between the two R Racing boys, that Sonny Smith obviously will want the win, but he's not going to do anything silly, you wouldn't think, on his teammate in P2 in terms of pressure, or too much pressure. Each man for his own, though.
Have you ever seen Senna and Prost, mate, grow up? Of course he'll have a go. No, you're right. He will treat him with kid gloves. This now is it. He will be trying to get through that chicane as fast as he can. And look at that. McIntyre, the leader. He's gone through there like a scalded cat. He knows he needs to get rid of the toe as they now approach the chicane and flat out. But he's not far. I don't think he's close enough. It just depends the exit now, because it all comes down to Tower Corner, which they're just getting to now. Look, he's all over the road trying to get rid of the toe. But it's coming. It's coming. He's defending already, and this is it.
Here we come up to town. We know that Rolich is not afraid to look at the outside. Having said that, it's going to do a Reynolds down the inside. Here comes Sonny Smith. Is it going to be an R Racing 1-2? It looks like it now. Reynolds is coming up through on the inside as well. And the camera car, suddenly we get action on the camera and back to it. And he's down in 4th place. That is not what Will wanted to see. A little bit of steam coming out of one of the cars out front. But it is Smith now, the race leader. Incredible stuff for Sonny Smith to come through when he was further back. Who would have thought that? But that was a well-timed manoeuvre from him.
Calculated and beautiful. Look at that, was amazing. Could sense what was going on ahead. It's not over yet, though. The leader is now wide and Sonny out, and Rolich can smell this. But look, you've got Reynolds hanging around. Reynolds doesn't want to give this up, but they're all over it. 4 of them for the lead. Look at this, side by side, sideways on the grass. That's it, game over. Rolich out, and now sideways again. Is McIntyre going to take the lead?
Oh, here they come then. Sonny Smith into the hairpin for the last time.
We've got 2 cars stranded right behind, but it's the 72 of Smith there. Reynolds was in second, but coming back through is McIntyre and Redding to second. But Sonny Smith's going to grab his first win in Ginetta Juniors. There's the checker. There is win number 1 for Sonny Smith. It's Will McIntyre second. Harry Reynolds is in third place. Liam McNeely gets the rub of the green there and comes through. I think it's Maurice Henry and Josh Rowledge who are stranded there. Yep, there they are, off on the second part of the complex. Rest of them coming through. Luke Watts was 5th from Akil Alibi in 6th place.
Wow, take a breath. There was a bit too much contact in that one for my liking. Yeah, but that was one of the better races I've seen. The contact, there's too many cars coming across the line with damage, and if any of these kids want to go single-seater racing, the rad hanging off the car there, you want to go single-seater racing, you can't do that.
No, I think it's going to be an orderly or disorderly queue outside the clerk's office after that one, to be perfectly honest. Yeah,
there was a bit too much going on in that race, and that's the damage we don't want to see. We don't want to see cars flying across tracks. We've got you know, high-speed corners here where you just don't want this. But look at them. Oh, it's all set up. I don't know if Rowledge is sideways on his own. He comes back across the track. And, oh, that's unfortunate. Maurice was holding back because he didn't know which way he was going to end up there. That is a shocker that is. That's a shame, that, because I don't know if McIntyre actually did touch Rowledge in the number 10. The car slid, and I don't know whether...
It looked like he was... Now, we didn't see the full build-up to that, but it looked like he was crossed up, didn't it, before?
Yeah, it did look that way. That's our onboard camera from that, so I don't know if there's any kind of way we can see. It doesn't really matter. It'll be looked at in the Clark's course, but that was such a close race. I enjoyed that, actually, except for the contact in
absolutely. We hate to see the damage, and Mark Hulme, who's the Clerk of the course, he had a busy weekend last week. He was up with us on Anglesey and was, I think, having a stream of visitors in the Legends Cars Championship he was looking after, that being a BARC Championship. And now he's going to have a load of youngsters going to talk to him before. And I wonder whether it will be sorted out. It's not going to affect the grid unless there are penalties. It's not going to affect the grid for race 2 because it's off the lap times that we get. And but yeah, busy times as ever that you're going to get. But championship-wise, what does that mean? So yeah, non-finish for Josh Rowledge. And just wait and see whether Josh has had, that's his first DNF, so he can kind of write that one off in terms of the drop scores.
Shame that he didn't deserve that, did he?
No, he didn't. No, for sure.
Wow, listen, I don't know if you can pick that up. You probably can't, but the clapping around the circuit, the crowd really enjoyed that one, and they're just clapping there as well, just seeing Maurice is all okay. He really was. He had nowhere to go then. That was a shame.
Yeah, Josh Rowledge getting the applause for getting out of the car, which is good to see, and he'll be taken off for a check over. We're talking about these cars. I mentioned that Joe Warhurst had effectively a newly built car for this round. It was actually one of the old challenge runners from SVG Motorsport that they put into junior spec. And he was saying that the car of the championship goes to Sonny Smith, got the fastest lap as well, did Sonny. Will McIntyre second from Harry Reynolds and Luke Watts. Liam McNeely in 5th, ahead of Akil Alibi. 7th goes to Ian Aguilera from Canato Lay. Akshay Bora in 9th, the top 10 completed by the returning Joe Warhurst. 11th, Jacob Hodgkiss from Luca Hopkinson. Mackenzie Douglas was 13th, ahead of Flynn McHardy, then Leona Theobald and Adam Brown. Shravan Shamagova in 17th from Zach Meakin and Ella Lloyd. James Wires in 20th, getting into the area now with drivers having a few issues over the course of the race. As I mentioned, fastest lap going to the race winner, Sonny Smith. The championship standings look like this. Harry Reynolds now back in the lead of the championship. 14 points to lead over Will McIntyre, now second from Josh Rowledge and Akil Alibi. Joe Warhurst in 5th from Sonny Smith, then Liam McNeely and Canato Lee. Top 10 completed by Maurice Henry and Fergus Chalmers. Let's join Louise Goodman.